I think like shock was my initial reaction, especially like knowing that we were so close and we had literally just left that area.
We are off the top first to four with breaking news on the deadly terrorist attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans. Here's what we know right now. 10 people are dead and dozens more hurt in the overnight attack where a driver in a truck plowed into a crowd. And just hours ago, we learned the Sugar Bowl matchup featuring Notre Dame and Georgia has been postponed. Tonight, we are also learning more about the suspect. CBS's Katie Weiss starts us off in New Orleans, where investigators recently identified him, and new developments about this New Year's Day terror attack.
The FBI is investigating the New Year's Day attack in New Orleans as an act of terrorism.
This is not just an act of terrorism. This is evil.
The FBI has identified the attacker as 42-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, a U.S. citizen from Texas. A U.S. official confirms to CBS News he had previously served in the U.S. military.
We do not believe that Jabbar was solely responsible. We are aggressively running down every lead, including those of his known associates.
Authorities say he plowed a truck through a crowd on the city's iconic Bourbon Street shortly after 3 a.m. local time, then got into a firefight with police and was killed.
We were in the middle of the road and managed to run off the road onto the sidewalk and into the doorway of a building for cover.
Jim Maurer was visiting from Iowa. He said after the gunfire stopped, he tried to help the victims.
People we came across were unfortunately deceased.
The FBI says an ISIS flag was located in the truck, as were weapons and other potential explosive devices. Law enforcement also identified possible IEDs located in the French Quarter.
The mission now is to facilitate, support, and coordinate safety procedures to keep our residents and our visitors safe.
Police say 2 police officers who were shot during the gunfight are in stable condition. Katie Weiss, CBS News, New Orleans.
Notre Dame President Father Bob Dowd releasing this statement, saying in part that our prayers are with the family members and loved ones of all of those impacted by the terrible attack in New Orleans early this morning. We also pray for all of those injured and extend our deepest gratitude to the brave first responders who risked their lives to protect others. To be in solidarity with those who suffer is to exemplify the spirit of Notre Dame. Today we are in solidarity with all of those impacted by this tragedy. The WSBT-22 sports team is staying in a hotel not far from the scene. They have been there all day talking to witnesses about what they saw. And as we told you off the top here at 4, the Sugar Bowl between Notre Dame and Georgia has been postponed until tomorrow. This will impact thousands of fans from here in South Bend and in Georgia, all there to see the playoff push. Sports Director Pete Burns, sports anchor Bennett Wise, live for us in New Orleans here at 4 o'clock. Guys, you're learning more from Sugar Bowl officials about the decision to postpone, and one of the reasons was for public safety.
Yeah, John, public safety. I think the primary reason why at this point that game is postponed, public safety, and then the safety of players and coaches, everybody involved in the game. But I think it's important to say that at this point in time, even talking about a football game seems a little bit out of place given the nature of the tragedy that was witnessed here just hours ago. I want to give you a sense of where we're at. We're on Canal Street right now, which is one of the major streets running through the heart of downtown New Orleans. Our hotel where we're staying is about 2 blocks in that direction, and right behind us now, Bennett, that is Bourbon Street, the entrance where the driver unfortunately drove down last night or early this morning, killing those people and injuring several others. It is an incredibly somber scene out here right now. There's still a heavy police presence, but otherwise fairly inactive as far as the crime scene is concerned. But Bennett, you were down here reporting on the incident earlier this morning. Tell me what you saw earlier today.
So I initially came down around 9 o'clock Central Time here along Canal and Bourbon Street. Still active at the time. There were FBI agents, local officials, people of that nature, as well as people from the coroner's office. You can see from a distance were tending to those who unfortunately lost their lives. And as for people around, people were stopping by, taking a look down Bourbon Street, trying to see what was going on. A lot of people saying shocked, horrified, really left speechless by what happened here around 3:15 this morning, and especially around the new year. a time when everybody was out celebrating.
Yeah, and if you've never been to New Orleans on New Year's Eve, I think it's hard to put in perspective just how crowded it is. I mean, think Times Square New Year's Eve, which people see on television. Thousands and thousands of people just walking around in this area when that truck came plowing through. And again, so many people that are down here, not just for the new year, but there are a lot of Georgia fans, a lot of Notre Dame football fans, some from South Bend, we're sure, that are here to watch the game. And again, obviously that's been put on hold. I know you had a chance to speak to several bystanders today. What were some of the things they told you?
Mainly just thoughts and prayers with everybody's family who was affected. But again, those adjectives of shock, horror. I was talking to a woman who was actually from Canada. She was here just on a tour trip, and she was stunned by truly what happened. Couldn't believe the sights, the amount of people, even people who were walking down the street. Some of them, people were asking, you know, what happened here, what was going on, and everybody was sort of sharing it. It was almost silent down here. It was quite eerie.
Yeah, and I think that's the same thing you see right now, and eerie is the exact word I was going to use. The streets have been completely shut down around this crime scene, so there is nothing but foot traffic for blocks in both directions, and pretty much just stunned silence, people walking around, not sure what to do, what to say, what to feel. Again, a lot of people were here expecting to see a football game. That is not going to be played today, but as JP, you mentioned, the game is currently been postponed until tomorrow night, scheduled to kick off at 8:45 Eastern time, so that's a full 24 hours after the original scheduled kickoff time. There is a report right now on ESPN suggesting that could get moved up, and that has not happened yet. But the thought process behind that being is that both Georgia and Notre Dame football officials believe that it might be in the best interest of the programs to do that. Keep in mind, whoever ends up winning the Sugar Bowl game tomorrow has to turn around and play an even bigger football game the following week. So when they think about rest and recovery and preparation, all of those things enter into their mind, although clearly it's important to point out that that's all in the background. Safety still remains everybody's primary concern. We're going to throw it back to South Bend right now, but we're going to continue to monitor this scene here. If anything develops, we will break in immediately and let you know. And if not, Bennett and I will be back live tonight at 5 o'clock with the latest. John?
All right, Pete and Bennett, thank you for that. A lot to stay on top of for us in New Orleans. We appreciate your live report.